Grab a drink, a joint, or maybe just your chair. It's time for Business After Hours with Summer Thorn and Claire Tinkler. Hey, everybody. How is it going today? I have my beautiful co host, Summer, with me. And we have Melissa Chicoine today, who is a sex and relationship manager. And as a business owner, you know that sometimes it might get in the way of those things. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a sex and relationship coach on here. Melissa, we are so grateful to have you here today, and it's so good to see you.
I'm excited. Thank you for asking me to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming on and being a guest. We love it. It's really been fun so far.
Uh,
So
Can't wait. Yeah, we always have fun with them, and they're all usually they're Claire's friends, and so I'm like, I don't know who they but getting to know that question. So, how did you get started doing what you're doing, and then what exactly is a sex and relationship manager?
Oh, also, as a sex relationship coach.
Um, I got I got started. My husband like has been pushing me towards it for a while now, just as I 43 and I was very like sex was something to be shameful about.
Yeah.
And as I got to be in my mid to late 30s, I started like coming into myself and being like, okay, there's more to this than what church taught me.
Yeah.
And so my husband came across her name is Alexa Bowditch, and she has a company called Sex and Love Co. And we followed her on Instagram for a while because of a friend who we found her through. And she was posting that she was having her university come up to be a sex and relationship coach. And for about a month, he was like putting it in my ear, putting it in my ear. And then he actually messaged her and got into her DMs. And so I started like a pre course that was like 6 weeks long. I did that over the summer. And then I loved it so much. I signed up for the whole year thing. And it just finished 2 weeks ago. So
Okay, so before that, what did you do?
it's, it was a whole year process. We did biweekly calls. We had a ton of homework, workbook, and we go through like the first 3 months was like sex education. And it was mind blowing to me at what I didn't know. Like, even just a female anatomy. There was so much one. I was like, I'm in my 40s. How can I not know this? This is crazy. So the first 2 months was sex education. Then we went through 3 months of pretty intensive how to coach people and how to ask the questions, how to spot their protectors when they're talking to you to know when you can get more out of them or go deeper. And that was a lot. That was really hard because we had to work with each other. And then our coaches would call us out in calls and coach us in front of everybody, which was very vulnerable, but it was so healing in a way. It was like I basically got an education and paid for therapy. And the last 2 months was about the business side, which I thought was a cool aspect because that's not what a lot of the other programs offer. And so we went to the business side of how to find your ICA, how to really get your mission statement down, your I help statement for Instagram, how to set that up. And it was great. The only thing we didn't do was how to set up an LLC. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
So got there for that. But
Yeah, I'm surprised, like, but it really is true. Like, not all those types of courses offer a business section where
they
they can
don't.
guide you on. Yeah,
Yeah, they don't. I felt like I was lucky because I had already built a couple of businesses before, so I knew that side of it. But none of the other girls in the course had ever really done any sort of entrepreneur things.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm always curious when people start their businesses like from the ground up like that. Like, how do you build your book of business? Where do you find sales and brands?
Really, it's about building a line and then connections. I was just talking to people. I feel like most of my like face to face kinds like clients I've gotten are just through talking to people like here in town when I
Yeah.
go to our other business and tell our members what I've been up to because I've been absent from it for the last year. They're all intrigued. And then it's fun. You tell someone, they ask you what you do, and you're like, I'm a sex coach. And they're like, what? How'd you get into that? And I had an experience with some older men at a tailgate, an LSD tailgate recently, and they were like really intrigued and then wanted to talk. And I was like, "Doc, you paying for this?
Yeah.
Just wanted to do more. It's not something that you just get people to come to you. It's a lot of work and a lot of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and building the trust with people because in the sex world, I feel it's a tough subject or tough to like,
Yeah.
but I think more people are intrigued by it when you start telling them the things and talking more. So
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
there
uh,
I mean, I feel like I have a million questions. Is there like a okay, one, is it mostly couple? Two, is there like like a recurring issue, like sex and relationship issue that you encounter with like different age groups, maybe like different decades, like 30s, 40s? And yeah, that's it for now.
like, do you mean do I coach couples or
Yeah, is it just couples or do you have like single people come in with like issues
I've mainly wanted to work with women
there?
who come from the same background as me. As I grew up in a Catholic church, I was the only daughter from South Texas. My parents, sex before marriage is a sin. You don't do that. I never got the birds and the bees talk. So I really targeted women like that. But my husband is also in another men's group and he's learning how to coach men too. And once he comes in, we're going to coach couples together. Just, yeah, we've been married for 21 years. We've gone through so many ups and downs, learned a lot on the way. Like I was alone, not married. So total baby, no experience. So we've had to figure out how to add the fun into our marriage through that. So yeah, mainly women right now, but I'm not opposed to working with men at all. It's just not who I'm targeting. But if they want to talk, then I'm game for that. And I I love to talk to the young girls, like the college girls who are the ones going out and having the one night stands, not really understanding their pleasure. And like you give the guy a blowjob and he's getting more than what you got. Did you get
Yeah.
anything out of it? Like,
yeah.
no, it wasn't worth it. You're just giving yourself up for the sake of wanting something. And we can go deeper into that and figure out where those traumas are that are making her seek
Yes.
Yeah.
attention. And not that one night stands are bad at all. It's just living in a college town. I hear so many horrors from girls. And then, yeah, my age, I even have one woman who's like in her 60s asking me for help with her and her husband. So that's cool.
Well,
And
being married that long is a feat, and being married that long and doubly and still with a healthy sex life and you're like a unicorn. So like one of like you have the credential, like the street cred to give advice on
yes.
this.
Let's say it
Yeah.
wasn't always healthy. It was not, there was many years that was like not a healthy sex life. And there were years that was like just funk in our marriage. And we grew through all of it. And now we're in a place where it's so freeing to just be into your sexuality and actually enjoy sex and it not be like a
Like
chore.
first.
It's most women
Yeah.
feel like a chore.
It's like I don't know, like a society, standard of society or something.
Yeah, I think society doesn't really talk to women about
There's like
um like her pleasure. Yeah, it's for her. And then you get married and you're told if you don't please your husband, he's gonna find someone else. You're like, and for many years it was like I needed to get drunk and then I could be fun, but it's so freeing was yeah.
Yeah. I was the same way, man. I was the same way. It's
I
so
know we're so
crazy.
alike.
Like you just and I guess because you as the girl, like you like it's good to get a guy to sleep with you. Like I just remember, like, growing up, especially in the South. I don't know if that's normal everywhere or what. Like, that's how a guy liked you. That's how you knew, was if he'd sleep with you, but then the next
Yeah.
day, he wouldn't call you back, and you're just like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly, and I think if young girls knew how to hold themselves to a higher standard, then maybe they can let a quality guy in and not have to go through the frogs along the way just to feel wanted and to get that connection. It's just the wrong sort of connection that doesn't lead to much. And when you're young, it's hard to decipher. Like,
I
Yeah.
I heard someone describe like that kind of transactional surface level sex as like you're just masturbating with another person. Because you're not really opening up. There's no real intimacy there. In fact, like holding hands could be more intimate because you're not really shedding any layers or just masturbating with another person in the room on top of whatever.
and it takes a woman like 20, sometimes 40 minutes to be fully ready for penetration and sex. Pre-game for it is a while. And I think about when I was younger, it was just like, okay, yeah,
"Okay,
let's go.
ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am."
yeah. And okay, why I didn't like it. There's nothing there for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like girls, like guys always get something out of it. But for a female, like if I was younger and I understood pleasure, it would have been so different.
Yeah, I really wish we
Yeah.
would tell part of the I think our sex ed
Like that.
was like a woman giving birth and it was talking and it was more of like it was scarring. Like we're 13 years old and we're watching like a delivery room video and I'm like,
Yeah. It was more fear. Like it was,
"What?"
my mom she told me that I basically thought that you kissed a boy and you got it. Even
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
16 and a blowjob was like just going flowing on his penis.
Maybe when I drive.
Yeah, sex education, it's not there. And then I think about right now in politics and Roe versus Wade being taken away and stuff like actually educated the youth about would be such a different role that we're going to take away all these things without educating. So we're like just leaving everybody up to fail in a way. And then
Yeah.
porn, the young kids are learning about sex from porn, which it's not real and it's not, I don't know, I can watch a porn. I mean, like, she's not look, she doesn't like, she's not having fun. So this
Yeah.
stuff is for me.
Yeah.
And I think about my son seeing that there's no consent over. You think about like you hear horror stories of girls being choked and hurt because the guy didn't understand what that was like when he was seeing it on the porn. So yeah, there's so much education out there that's missing.
Yeah. It's just it's been stigmatized for too long.
Yeah,
It's
it's human nature and it's healthy.
it's about to say, yeah, it is human. It's human nature. Why aren't we talking about it?
I don't know it, but women just knew if every woman knew how to please herself and how to reach orgasm on her own, I feel like we would all be less triggered and happier. And like, I tell my husband, I'm like, I'm having a bad day. I need time to myself. And he knows what I'm talking about. Like, boys, I need time for myself. And my mood changes afterward. And so all the hormones that are released are amazing. And why aren't we talking?
Yeah, it is a very male-centric view, I think, that we take, especially if we do look at porn. I stopped watching that 10 years ago because I started going in rabbit holes. I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna watch this." But, yeah, it's all very male-centric and male domination, and there's not a lot of women-centered it's so odd. I
No,
don't
they're
I'm
really,
a long way, but we haven't gotten there yet.
yeah. And I think a lot of it's not women centered because of how like men are more stimulated by what they see. And in women, it's more of a feeling.
Yep.
I remember when I was younger, I told my husband, like, okay, I need more workup during the day. Hold my hand, take me out to dinner, romanticize me so that I am fun later. And I didn't understand it. I was like asking for the foreplay and the feeling. I needed the emotion of being wanted and loved and held. And then that was able, like, I was from there, I was able to get into the mindset to enjoy sex, actually.
Yeah. And
And it
like
was just boom.
like sex is one of the only things that we still do in this developed age of our humanhood that still ties us to like our animal roots where we're still doing the things we did, when we were cave people. So
Exactly.
it's
Why is it so shameful? Like, it's been around since the start of time. We
It's
wouldn't exist.
believe I
We would
know.
not be here if it
Well,
wasn't
that's
for
what I was gonna
sex.
say.
Like, you know?
I know we literally would not be alive. That's how we're made.
Yes, like sex is the part of life, and we it's so shunned in society. And it's just so silly.
It really
yeah.
is. I wonder
So,
why that is. Like, why?
I don't
There's a
know.
lot of reasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like the fear of the unknown, or it's just not allowing yourself to learn more. So when you don't understand it and you just hear that it's bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure a bunch of women in the '60s were just like, I don't want. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought that sex was just for having babies. Don't wanna have babies. But for the men, they want sex because it's fun for them. But
Yeah, it's fun. It feels good.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it feels good for us too.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
Like, and you have a partner that you can open up with and actually, because it should be playful, it should be explorative, it should be,
It
stuff
is.
that find a deeper meaning to your relationship and yourself, and do that with somebody.
It
Or
is.
yeah, it used to be dirty. Like I grew up Christian, I wasn't Catholic, but it was definitely always shameful. Like I always, no matter if I loved the person or not, afterwards it would feel like gross. Like I just didn't
Yeah.
ever
It
like
was,
love.
like, dirty, like, "I need to go to
No,
the shower, clean up because this is dirty."
the
yeah,
walk of shame, only
Yes.
not for men. So
Why
yeah,
do women have the walk of shame? Like, why do we have the walk of shame? Why can't they have that too? So silly. Yeah, it's there. Sex is described sometimes as play for adults. As we get older, we don't play. We don't play with toys. We don't do the imaginary play with our dolls. And so then when you can get into kink, sex is great for adults. And when you truly trust your partner and you can have fun together, it's a form of play that is very good for the soul.
yeah. And what is it? It reduces cortisol and everything too, doesn't it? That sort of
And
play. I mean,
it
obviously,
does. And then just like the human touch of like just cuddling releases oxytocin.
endorphins.
Yeah, so many. And just, I don't know, it feels good to be loved. We're humans, we need connection. And
Yeah,
so much we're going away from connection.
but act of sitting naked is like symbolic of being vulnerable. Like it's supposed to be a very vulnerable time, and that's hard. That's really hard to do. But we can
Yeah.
have them at your side that you feel like you can get naked, and not just like naked clothing wise, but hey, I really have this. I had this idea the other day. It really turned me on being able to be naked with your one and
Yes.
both that like that really connects people in a way that you
And
kind of that.
and I think as women don't understand how to do some self-pleasure practices or whatever, you don't understand if you don't understand yourself and what you like, you cannot tell your partner how to please you. And so then once you can get in some pleasure with yourself, a lot of the times women do get more confident in the bedroom. So like the getting naked is not so difficult. You don't have to
yeah,
have the light off. You don't have to think, oh, he's looking at my rolls or whatever. If I'm in a weird position. It is so freeing to be like just so empowered to learn your pleasure and then be able to tell your partner how. And it just makes the connection that much better.
So we're always trying to tie like all of so many different guests and every one of them is a business owner, but they all have different specialties. And so we're always trying to tie like, how does this apply as you as a business owner and you as a sex coach? Have you been able to draw parallels between those? Anything that you see that you're like, wow, I didn't know this until I became a business owner and it really applies to both.
One thing that I have learned is about a woman's menstrual cycle and the phases and how to plan your month around your phases for your business.
Ooh,
So like, we've owned our gym for 12 years and I would beat myself up because one week I'd have all this energy. I felt like all the social media things, well, the email things were just coming easily.
yeah.
Um, and then the next week I was just like low motivation. I was tired and what is wrong with me? Like I'm eating all the same things. I'm doing all the same stuff, but it's just not clicking. And then other weeks where I had no patience and now learning all the menstrual phases and figuring out when I'll be at like peaking like my energy levels, the ovulation, knowing that within the next week or so, my energy level is going to tank and I need to save it. It's helped me so much, at least give myself grace within the business, not beat myself up, and then plan all the routines of like with Instagram posts. I have a week where I'll sit down and I'll make everything. And then
Yeah.
when I want to sit down and create a workshop on the computer that I know is going to take a long time, I know when that it's going to be the best time for me to do that month. And it just, that part of what I've learned through the course has helped me within business. And then also with my husband, because he knows where I'm at too. And he knows how to support me in it.
Yeah. I just never realized that it affects you so much. Like, I would have never, like,
Right.
linked the 2 together.
It does. As you go through your menstruation and energy starts to come up. And then you go into follicular stage and you're feeling good and you have a ton of energy. And then you get into ovulation and you're really feeling great, but you're more excited to get dressed up and put makeup on and be seen. Well, those are the great times to do your social media posts. And then you head into your luteal, which is right before menstruation. And that's when you start getting tired because your hormones are dropping, less patient. And if you have a day that you're super, super busy, like the next few days, it's going to take all your energy stores. You're going to be relaxed. So if you can get into that mentality of knowing, I'm really tired today, I just don't have it in me, rather than beating yourself up, you can give yourself grace and be like, I'm a woman. My hormones are not there. There is a physiological reason why I can't do the clicks today. Um,
Yeah.
so that's been a game changer in not allowing burnout.
Yeah. And so what do you do? So do you plan it, like, because like, your cycle changes, so are you like, "Oh, shit, 2 days early, let me adjust my schedule."
Yeah, I do. I track it all in my app. Um, and right now we're in that at 43. I'm in perimenopause, so it's up and down. Like my cycle is totally off, but I can track it, and it's weird because like in the past I would really just drink more caffeine, try to work harder and push through. So when I'm like a few days late, I just give myself grace, and I'm like, it's not going to happen to me, but I know in a few days I'm going to be ready to rock and roll. So I try to like slowly prepare, and I make notes or I come up with ideas or read a book to start it,
Yeah.
write it down in my journal, and then I know that the next week I'll be to go all in.
I still can't believe it. I would have never linked the 2 together.
I know, and it's a game changer. Even with working out and eating and stuff, like our cycles so much. And like, why wasn't that taught when I was a teenager? Like, why did I not live
Yeah, I know.
here?
I know, it's like, they don't teach you that, they don't teach you how to be a business owner.
They teach you nothing. They don't teach you anything.
And they don't teach you pleasure.
All the important things in life. Well,
Yes. From the course, are there any super cool profiles that you follow or any communities that you've become a part of or anything like that?
I haven't done any communities. I didn't want to put too much on my plate while I was in the course because I wanted to make sure my focus was solely there and that
Yeah.
I moved through the course as it was planned. I haven't joined any communities, but like the girls within the course, we all have our own little community that we keep in touch and try to keep each other motivated. We're going to continue to have bi-weekly Zoom calls. There's a lot of people that I've followed in the sex scene, and they've been great resources to like, look at their business and how they take it. And
Yeah.
also just how vulnerable and open they are online helps me be like, okay, I can do this too. Cause it's hard. Like I live in Baton Rouge. My son goes to a private school. Like I still have those
Your
inner
mama.
thoughts that come to my head.
Yeah.
I'm an old married woman now. Like, why do I think like that?
But it's gonna feel so freeing to finally be doing, like, what you truly want to. Does it feel like it's your true passion, your true calling to because you really are putting yourself out there and doing all of that.
I do. Yeah, I love it. I think when I was personal training, it was so hard because the women I would train, they would want to talk to me about their life. And a lot of it was their life or their husband or their kids. And I would really take on their emotions and not really know how to help them through it. And all of that helps your fitness goal, like being happy and all that. And so I got burnt out. And now I'm like, wow, I wish I would have known all this because I could have helped her in this way. So it's allowing me to still help, but in a way that is more aligned with me and who I am, and like a softer to allow me to stay than in my feminine rather than in a CrossFit gym where you're in your masculine and weights are banging.
Yeah.
Clouds. Yeah, I love it.
That's so awesome. Like, how does that tie into like physical ability in the gym? I did not know that those were interrelated. That's interesting.
Yeah, so many women come to me and they had all these, and I also coach nutrition, and the weight was not falling off. I didn't know anything about hormones or cortisol. I didn't even really realize that through your cycle, you weigh a little more. Here, you weigh a little less. You're going to hold on to water weight here. You're going to shed water weight there. You're going to be more hungry here. You're going to be less hungry. So, if I would have known those things, I feel like I really could have helped women better understand their bodies and then just give themselves grace so that the cortisol did not continue to spike, which would keep the weight on. 'Cause it's impossible to lose weight when you're still stressed and the cortisol is just flowing through your body.
Yeah.
It's they're all so intertwined when you can do the healing work and then just the empowerment of being within your sexuality all can transfer into the motivation to work out harder or eat better. And it all just like coexist.
Yeah, like they fuel each other. I think we're finding more and more about how like the brain body connection works. We don't know it
Yeah.
completely. Like they are all intertwined. Like my sister, she had leukemia when she was younger and some trauma with that because it was during her peak high school years. She didn't have a lot of the memories that a lot of other teenagers had. And I was like a therapist for everybody just thought handle it. Like she's fine. She survived and she's in remission. And so everything's fine. 20 years later, she starts getting these tremor, like they think she's having seizures. That's how bad her body is like shaking.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
my God, the cancer's back. We're thinking the worst. And they take her to the hospital. There's nothing physical is wrong. We recommend you go to a therapist and kind of try to process some of the stuff you've been through. And so I was like, that is incredible that you're healthy, first of all. That's great. But like that your mind can store trauma that way and manifest itself in something like that and force you to deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Have y'all read the book, The Body Keeps Score?
No.
No, not yet. I haven't read it yet,
Body
but
Keeps Score talks about all of that, about how the emotions that you don't work through work in your body. And that is why there's a lot of, especially for women, all of the like MS and gosh, I'm having like a brain fart. What are they called? The autoimmune diseases are so prevalent for women because we take on so much. We store our emotions and that all manifests itself in illness, really. And
Yeah.
it It's a really good book. It's yeah, the body score. It's not it was a hard read for me because I would be so like my mind is always in places so I'd have to reread things for a lot
Yeah.
of big words, a lot
I'm
of
the same way.
but it
Yeah.
can answer a lot. It's really good. And then there's a book called Come As You Are, and it is amazing for the mind body connection when it comes to being like within the sex. Right. Right. It answers a lot of the questions about female orgasms and like how you can be turned on in your mind, but your body won't show it. And it's the same with men. Like they can be turned on and they can be flaccid. So it doesn't, the boner does not mean, you know, they
Yeah.
won't stop. They're not turned on. It's just a body mind connection. And um, that book.
And what was
Oh,
that book called?
oh, no.
Yeah. Come As You Are by,
Come As You Are.
yeah, the goth, remember her name. I can send y'all the books in an email. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
going
Yeah.
So interesting for me, and they were a part of our reading that we were given in the course. It just answered a lot of questions that why didn't we know this? Why is this not on TV? And talked about what is it? So many people would struggle with them, I think, if they understood.
we have like parallels and drawn lines between like business ownership in our lives and health and the things that we've gone through. And that's part of the reason why we decided to start the podcast. And holy shit, like these things are not separate, they're not siloed. They actually bleed into each other quite often. And I know that solo before I had her as a partner and would take on other partners. I wanted to do everything myself. Like my mental health started to suffer, my sales started to suffer because it was cyclical. Once I started to burn out, then I wasn't interested in the business. I couldn't be. I was too tired. So it just became a self perpetuating cycle. And then we started talking about that, Claire and I, and then there other people, like we hear by virtue of our business, other people what they're struggling with. And like, you guys are experiencing burnout too. Like this is your in actual physical ways now. Like we got to talk about this at least. Like at the very end of the day, if this podcast is nothing for anyone, I really hope that it gives you an avenue to realize that it's normal to feel that way, and there are things you can do about it, and you can at least have a podcast that you can commiserate with and be like, oh, that's what I'm experiencing right now, and that's why my relationships are suffering.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. The
Yep.
burnout is real, and the hustle culture is like I am you're in the hustle culture, and I'm so against now because it does like that whole hustle, like you have to just go to be successful,
Yes.
go, and then your body shuts down. And I've been there so many times. Yeah, no, and then you're just like,
You're sick.
yeah, you're sick
Yeah.
over again. And then you're sick, so you take time off. So then you hustle to make up for the time off, and then you're sick. And it just, it's a 6 month, it's a 6 month thing for me. And as a woman, I would beat myself up because my husband, he did not reach that burnout like I did, especially after being a mom and having all these other things going on in my head and taking care of another human being, but trying to manage the business, what society says, like women can do just as much as men can do, but no, we can't. Like our cycles literally keep us in a place that can't just continue to go as men. And if you want us to be good women, you don't want us to go like that. You want us to fall into our feminine and allow love and softness to come in because then that's when we're in our power in our business life. But the hustle culture keeps you in your masculine and then you're unapproachable and then your business suffers because you're unapproachable. So
It's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely it's the 9 to 5 workday was not created for women. I know that there's like my day, and I have noticed like a weekly change. Like each week is different, where there's different energy levels throughout the day, and they're you sometimes I can push past like it's around 2 o'clock where I'm like, dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's yeah.
but
mhm.
some, all right, we have reached a point of no return, and nothing. I can sit at my computer for 3 more hours and nothing gets done, or I can just rest. And
Yes, but yeah, yeah. And that it was like I would sit at the computer and stare at it, thinking I was being productive and I was working because I was like at my computer.
Oh,
Doing anything. I'd been more productive to go rest or go for a walk outside or
Yeah.
just listen to some music and move my body. And I want to help women get past and that's part of the empowerment coaching and everything.
Yeah, I love that because I struggle with that. If you're not always working, you're not successful, but it's you're probably not successful. It's look take a look at the mirror, working 16 hours a day every day. Like it's not yeah.
Like that work smarter, not harder, but no one tells you to
Yes.
work smarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Make sure we define success before we try to like Instagram's sometimes a wonderful tool for marketing and whatnot, but sometimes it's a terrible place to be if you're if you're comparing your business to a business that's been around for 10 years. Yeah, your level of success is not the same. You're not the same. You're comparing apples and oranges, but also, is that what you want? Did you
Yeah.
already establish what your version of success is? Maybe yours isn't the same.
exactly. Yeah. And you can't, I feel like growing your Instagram account and just anything online takes time. But just because you have so many followers does not mean you're not successful. There's people with like just 1,000 followers who are making a suitable living life. They get caught up in that whole, I need more followers, I need more followers, I need more engagement. But it's
What do what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Is that what they
it's
say? Yeah, it really is. Yep.
about women, like from the start, from you, we compare ourselves
It's
to other.
all we yes. I'm like, I've been so guilty of it.
Yeah, you compare yourselves to their looks and what they have and what you don't have. And then as you get older, you compare yourself to, oh, they're already married. Oh, they already have kids. I have to do this. And everyone has their own way in life. And it's not wrong. It's just, it's
Yeah.
their life. Embarrassing.
Yep, everybody has their own path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think that I've always been drawn towards the outliers and the rebels and like people who go and get a college degree at 65 or they get remarried at 70 or they find their first love at 40.
Yeah.
I having kids is not for me. That is so cool that you were that clear on yourself. I wish I had that earlier.
Oh,
Yeah. You
yeah.
are stuck in that good girl. This is what girls are supposed to do.
Yes, the society. This is the way you do things. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is the timeline you have to follow.
Successful, it's like this. And then you're retired by the time you're 45 or 50, which is not even reality anymore. But
No, yeah.
why are you old at 50? You still have a good 40 years, hopefully, to live. And you're going to put
Yes.
yourself into this bubble and say, there's nothing left when you can start all over. Martha Stewart started at 65 or something like that. Oh,
Yeah,
so yeah, it's never too late, I don't think.
I
Yeah.
don't think so either.
People continue to do amazing things and you can continue to do amazing things up until the day you believe you cannot.
Yep. Every day is a new day. You can be a new person every single day. Every single minute. You can choose to be different.
You can't. Choice.
So
Number
Yeah.
one.
one listening, it does get harder. So soak it up now. Good habits now.
It
It does get harder as you get older. But then I feel like, I don't know, my 40s have been like the best as far as like living my truth and just not. I still struggle with it at times. But I'm more like, why do I even care what people think? I'm just gonna do
yeah.
me. Like, I know their path where they're at. Like money, they're very much more successful than I am. They have a bigger house, bigger cars, but they're really not that happy.
Yeah.
And so I don't. Yeah, happiness is not a thing. It's like within and what you do, and when you're in your business in something that you love. Like I truly feel like you can be happy even without making a ton.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And some people, I think whenever I first started, my goal was just to pay the bills, not to pay the bills, and to just have balance.
Yeah.
Obviously, your goals grow and they change over time, but I was just like, I just want to have balance in my life for once. And little do you
Fine.
know,
It's fine. Like building a business takes so long. And like we talked clearly, like you just have to stick with it. Like, everyone who is successful just stuck with it. Even when they're-
consistency.
they, they were
Yep,
to it and then it paid off. But
yep. You gotta put
being
the time in, gotta put the reps in.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then it's like not linear. You're gonna have your ups and downs. Like right now in the gym business, it's not good, but it'll come back up. Like, we know that. And so we're able to stay right.
And plan
Yeah.
for it and work with someone like us for cash flow analyses to help
Yeah.
get issues.
Yeah. All the college kids are about to go home for the for the Christmas break.
Christmas, yeah, and then, like, a gym is it's at it especially a CrossFit gym, at the price point, novelty. So when people the economy is rough and people are pinching pennies, they're gonna cut novelties before you know, even though they know health and fitness is important. They're gonna cut
Yeah.
those. And so then, as far as the business, we have to think nothing we're doing. We're still doing all the things. It's just where we're at right now. It'll turn around and get better.
Yeah. And we talked about that the other day. Like, there are some things you just cannot control. Like, you can do
Yeah.
everything in your power to make it better, but the economy, like, is obviously a big factor.
Yeah. And then just figuring out what works for your business, I feel like takes because you can have this great idea and something is going to be everyone
Yeah.
got with this offer.
Yeah.
Then no one gets it. You're like, "Ah, how do
A
I
lot
get
a
it?"
lot of trial and error.
Yeah. And I get you down, you can quit, or you can say, I'm going to keep going because I love this. I know I have something to give the world. And, and one day,
Yep. All lessons. You just gotta be consistent, like, every
every
day.
failure is a lesson.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are
I
no
think
failures.
that's
No.
a huge trait that business owners have to possess in not only perseverance, but adaptability, being able to recognize, like, is this a speed that will change? Is it the
Yeah.
economy? But like being able to identify what's going on right now and is it a marketing effort? Is it this? But and then when you know what the issue is, you're like, okay, we can stick it out. This has been cyclical for the past 4 years. This is
Yeah.
absolutely normal. We're looking at the data
Yeah.
and stick it out. And then from there, you're like, all right, we know it's going to pick back up in February. So
Yeah. And if you just keep focusing on producing a quality product, it will pay off.
Yep. And it always is harder with the service too, you know that because you do coaching. You've been doing coaching for years, and probably that compared to just having the gym is probably see a difference there too, I would imagine.
Yeah. And the service real hard, but it's so rewarding too.
yeah,
It really is. To see people that are grateful for you and how much you changed their life too. I just had a call with a client earlier, and they had a really bad experience with their CPA before me, which is terrible, but it makes you realize that you do it because of how you make people feel, not because of the work. Nobody loves QuickBooks and hanging out with QuickBooks all day and plugging numbers into a tax return, but
Yeah.
it's the outcome.
The reward of knowing that what you did affects
Helps
someone
someone.
in a positive way is like,
Yeah.
and I feel like if you go back in time with like other civilizations, they all helped each other. And they were like, it was the community, like the tribe helps one another. And so as humans, we want to help others, but then society is to be like me. And I feel like the real, like, fulfilling work is helping others. At least,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that too. So tell us this. How would you say business owners can benefit from you and your services?
oh, wow. There's actually,
Yeah, help us with boundaries and all
yeah,
the things that we need.
yes, big boundaries. My want list. It's like
Yes.
your desires.
Yes. Tell
I
us.
crazy some of those things are. You're like, "You really hear this?" But, like, everyone does thing, and you don't know
Yeah,
until maybe you see it on paper, like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting."
yeah, can you tell Summer in the audience about that? It was actually really fun, and we enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's fun to do, yeah, so one little wellness, it goes through everything that you would want done to you by your partner, and
oh,
you go through this long list. It's like, what, 15 pages or something.
Yeah, it was
That
long.
yeah, it gets to be very vanilla, and then it gets to be more kink and some of it a little not for beginners. um,
Yeah.
so you go to the list and you look at everything and you check off if you want that, if you will try it, or you're not into it. And then you go through the other side in a
Like the
giver's
risk.
side, what
Yeah.
you're willing to give, what you'll do. Like you want will or won't. It's like you want to do this to them. You will if they want it, or like hard no. And it's fun. It opens up communication, whereas like it's hard. Some people have a hard time communicating their desires with a partner, and so it's just a fun little exercise. Like, was there one? Can't remember. It was a really weird one, and I was like nervous that Angie was. Yeah, I was like, I'm not there. She was lighting one thing, but thankfully we were both on the same like with it, and so that's fun.
So is
Yeah,
it
it's definitely
that you like check off? Like,
yeah, it's like a check. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
it's a fun one, and it goes through just the kissing on this body, whatever, and then it goes into the further deeper kink. You be tied down or spanked with this, with that. Do you want me to use a toy? What kind of toy? What kind of lube? It pulls. It's very detailed.
you
And
said
it helps.
ages?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
15
15
pages.
pages.
You had to up that. It's really long. Yeah.
It's super detailed, and
Yeah.
Cool.
definitely you'll learn a lot of things about your partner that you never knew.
One, like an open mindset, you can go deeper with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I never yeah, you read some of them and you're like, I never would have even thought about
Yeah. I
that.
remember I was like, you have the Lady Maeve thing, uh, the dominatrix course I took. That was eye opening. And that kind of rounded about the whole what list for me. Cause I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a thing. Cause then you're doing a list, you're like, so that opened me up into the world of kink. I figured like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go all in. I need to educate myself on everything. I don't want to be that coach who you come to me with this that just seems really weird to most people. I don't want to look at you and be like, that's not what I'm about. Like I'm open minded. I don't want to judge. So I need to educate. I'm not caught off guard.
I love that.
Yeah, I love the if you have that checklist clear, you should bring it this weekend because I want to see it around.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Something
bring it and you can
Yeah, I can
send
do
it
it.
from her Instagram. Yeah, there's a post she has and you can comment on it and get it, but I'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
like my boyfriend and I use something similar, but it's not for sex. It's like emotional like questions. And I like it because they're questions I would want to ask, but they would be random and weird. So when we sit down to pull a card, then it's really the card asking, not me or him asking. But they're really interesting to get the answers. They're really the
Oh,
questions
yeah.
are things I wouldn't normally think of. But I'm like, ooh, that is a good question. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a deck
Yeah.
of cards like that too. And I have some for like family, like for my son. That it's just sparks questions that you would never, you get in your everyday
Yeah.
life, think of all these things. And
Yeah.
I think some of those questions are fun for date night.
Yeah. I feel like some of those boxes, some of those cards are really good, but then some of them you're like, this is stupid ass
Yeah.
shit. And then you like throw it away and have to start and find a new box. But
Yeah. Well,
they're
yeah.
really good. Y'all have to let me know which boxes y'all have so I can get them.
Yeah. They're fun.
The and company or the
And when I have,
Yeah, ampersand. Is it the ampersand?
yeah.
lots
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. They're good for, yeah, if you're just sitting at dinner. Sometimes, like, we both told each other everything we needed to talk about. And say, idiot. Let's pull up cards, start conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I think there's a lot of communication deficit within relationship. We don't realize it until we learn the questions to ask. And then you realize,
yeah,
okay,
such a skill. Like it's a skill as a coach, it's a skill as a CFO or a tax planner. It's really hard sometimes to get people to open up. I think especially in the finance world, business owners feel bad if they don't know certain words that we're using. Try to not use jargon as possible, but they still see them flow back a little bit. And learning to word things like the art of language, the art of communication, the art of when someone's face change and like their demeanor just changed. I said something. Let me rewind. Let me rephrase. That is an art.
it
I
is.
know.
really is. And I feel like, especially with finances in a business, like it's hard to give your numbers to somebody. You're going to feel judged, like your business is failing or you're not doing
Yeah.
right. And money it's very similar to sex, not something people openly talk about. And so even for us, we're trying to fix the relationship with money, not because we want to do. And
Yeah,
it's
we
the same with relationships. And
Yep.
I feel like so many people are raised with a lack of everything mindset, especially when it comes to money. Like,
it's,
Well, they were both taboo to talk about. Like, you didn't ask people how much they made. You didn't ask about money. You
yeah,
didn't, well, you never asked about sex. You didn't talk about it. So, like, how could anyone possibly learn from their parents or anyone that they're close with if that stuff just is not? It's shameful and you don't talk about it.
yeah, I feel like
yeah,
it's finally coming around. And maybe it's the role of social media, with people being able to like just put it out there. And I wish more of us were able to do that because I feel like that's where like you learn so much from other lived experiences that you can connect with. And then you're like, okay, this isn't so bad. I can talk to someone about money. I can talk to someone about sex. This isn't as scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Oh, go ahead.
you just it just you always blow things up in your head when you think about them. Like nothing is ever really as bad as you think it is.
No, and that anxiety is
So yes,
word.
crippling at times.
Extract a scary thing. And I think
Yeah.
that's that's what I learned starting with this. Like the first step is scary because you're taking that ledge off and you're putting the whole your world on your family on your shoulders. But it doesn't end there. That's not the last time you're gonna have to do something scary. Scary all the time. Every day scary.
Yeah. And
So
the scary helps you grow and it builds
not
Yeah.
confidence.
you're putting yourself in uncomfortable positions because there is not a single, I don't care how good you are at a lot of things, there's not a single person out there that is going to be amazing at everything that it takes to run a business. There is going to be a place where you have a deficit. If you're not good at asking for help, that's where you're going to get hit hardest. If you're not good at things my or slot, then that's where I'm hit like I have a deficit there that I have to work on or hire somebody else. So like it forces you to come face to face with the shit you've been putting off. Hey, remember me? You don't like public speaking. Get sales. Public speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't get approachable, then you just stay where you're at. Like
Yep.
you never get out of that. Everything continues to be scary.
Yep, it's just like a constant cycle and you don't get to graduate to the next level.
No, and then no one who's up here stayed in their comfort zone.
Yep.
Everyone got out of their comfort zone and tried something new, did the thing that someone said you couldn't do. They failed at things, but then they learned from that and then they won. And it-
But then I always set goals and then especially when it's business stuff, like I'll set the goals and then I'll meet the goals, but then like I don't ever really celebrate. That's what I have a hard time with. Like, do y'all? I've
celebrate
noticed that with a lot of business owners too. Like we don't take enough time to celebrate, our goals. Cause you're like, so we gotta work, we start working towards the next thing, you know?
yeah, no, I totally can agree with that because we've never celebrated ourselves at the gym at all. And just through this past year, if I do something and I feel really good about it, Andrew's like, why? I'm gonna celebrate. You did the thing. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I want some wine. And you can make it back. I'm like, sure, I want that. But self care is so huge. And why don't we celebrate ourselves? But that also comes in with like female empowerment. You don't want to celebrate because it comes off as being
Like
conceited, like
conceited. Yes.
killing yourself off. And that's been something I've worked on, like putting myself out there and posting pictures of my boudoir photos that I took. Freaking empowering. And it's there. Well, I'm not putting it out there for the bad attention. I'm putting it out there to celebrate that that's hard work. I went and made was vulnerable. I was, in nude in a photo shoot, like comfortable in my body. Like I should celebrate. And
Yeah.
so
Nothing more vulnerable than that.
no, it's not. But like the feeling afterwards was like, damn, I did that. And I was not shy. Like I was me. Or
That's and that that is awesome. I want to see them, and I think that you celebrating is such a good point to bring up. I think you need to incorporate that into the show and start asking. when is the last time you did something celebration worthy and just start like when somebody has like a win, we should post them
Yeah.
and bring them up and celebrate for them because people have a hard time celebrating themselves.
Yes.
We can celebrate people that are
And you'll
great,
celebrate yourselves when you get off of a show. Like,
Yeah.
you did learn. Celebrate.
smart.
Yeah. They always make me nervous at the very beginning, but then they're always good.
Go out here, cake.
I know so many people out there can benefit from you and what you have to offer, and I can't wait to see where Be Intimately You goes. Do you have any webinars coming up or anything like that for us?
I am working on a couple goals workshop for the new year to set goals in your relationship and like within the relationship, but then like within finances or like you want to buy a house, like trying to set all these different goals together. It's something Andrew and I've never done. We've never set goals. We talked about them, but we've never celebrated when we met them. We never even
Yeah.
met them. So we're working on building that right now, and hopefully I'll have that out in a couple of weeks for the new year. And that will probably be a free giveaway and then turn into a coaching container for like a group. I'm not sure if I want to do a group yet or not, but like a container to keep everybody accountable to
Okay.
Yeah,
check on, yeah, to check up on them and then each other. I feel like that's been the biggest part of the course I took was the container we had in the group. Like we all kept each other accountable. And so we all grew within that year by learning how to coach and do the things, but within ourselves too.
Yeah.
I
I
think
feel
there's
like
all these
that's a
online groups.
yeah. I feel like that's a big thing is
Yeah, it
everything.
is. It is. And then I also want to I'm working on a menstrual cycle course um, to teach women about all the phases. And it'll go into detail of everything and everything to transition that into something that moms can bring in with their daughters. So the
Okay.
moms can learn how to help their daughters learn the thing to be a woman and celebrate yourself because the cycle has always been shameful. You're like, oh, my period. I can't do this. I can't do that. Like hiding your tampon in your purse. Whereas one of the other girls in the course is Indian in her life. Like their tradition is celebrate when the girl gets her period. And it is a beautiful thing. So they celebrate. She never felt ashamed about it. And the men never shamed her for it because they understood it because they celebrated with her. That's
cool.
something little girls learn. I feel like they can navigate puberty and high school and all the weirdness that you go through much
Yeah.
and the
All the
moms
awkward.
do it.
Yeah.
Like we don't talk about in the darkest women. I feel like our whole lives, like as soon as we get the handle on the menstrual cycle, it's like menopause time. It's like then that's the dark pit that like the no idea what.
No, and there's just research coming out about menopause. Like I'm in perimenopause and I feel like I've been there for about 6 years now. But
Yeah.
I'm 43 and it can start at 35. But I was like gaslit. I was like, no, you don't have this. You don't have that. Take this, take that. And I don't like to take medicine. So no.
Yeah.
That's
Same.
something it's supposed to do.
You know what?
If your body's doing something it's supposed to do, why would you need to think that like your body's doing exactly what it's supposed to do? It's just that you're like, hey,
It is.
on
It's just it's not something that was researched until recently, I think.
her.
Like I'm just now getting so many I've been so into it because I'm there in my life. And everything I'm reading or all the podcasts I'm listening to, all the other coaches I'm listening to, they're just now coming out with this research. And I'm like, I don't want to think five and women don't even know how to navigate perimenopause. So that's why people think we're crazy. That's why we're literally going crazy because we can't even verbalize what's wrong because we don't know what's wrong.
Well, because we've never it's always been like a mystery. Like they're they must be on there, it must be Aunt Flo or whatever a million names we have for what our body naturally does.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm just like,
Yeah. It is. God damn, it is crazy. I just think oh, what
on this
would
little
you just
pod.
say, sir? Aunt Flo? Is that what you just said? But it's so true. Every single female goes through it. Like, why is it such a big secret?
Yeah, and without it, we couldn't have babies. So
Yeah.
it's
Just like the sex thing. It's just like, why is it a huge secret? Like, why is it not openly talked about? Why is it has to be behind closed doors? And even
yeah,
then, it's still not even really talked about.
not and like in being in the space on social media, you have to be very careful with how you word things, with what you say. Because you'll get shadow banned. Even if you're educating, like putting out content that would help somebody, they still shadow ban you. And it's I've girls have gotten there. One of the girls like just recently got her whole Facebook shut down. That it was like her personal Facebook and completely shut down. She lost years of pictures with her kid. The Facebook won't open it back up. And then multiple have gotten their Instagram taken down. And that's a big source of income for people. It's crazy how they censor things that
Yeah, that's
being
ridiculous. And do you have a backup plan in case that happens?
I know a backup account. What they preached really heavily in the course was to run an email list
Oh, okay.
that always allows connection between the followers and everything. So you create the email list and you always have that as your backup because the other social media backup can then also get
Yep.
you taken down.
That was
Yeah.
spending about is like in the cannabis space, like a lot of our clients in cannabis, so they get shut down all the time. And so they have many accounts, but we're talking about what the purpose of the social media is, and it's really just to drive traffic to your website, hopefully to get that email and get that info so that you have more ownership over it when they do decide to shadow ban
Exactly.
ban you.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
get your email list and you own those emails. And you can always connect with followers. So yeah, no,
Freaking
it's
internet.
hard. Email another account would be so hard to track.
Well,
Yeah. It it is definitely hard.
Because I know like X is like transitioning, um, and they allow more.
Oh, do they?
I've heard stuff about it be growing more, and it's going to because TikTok will likely be banned. X is trying to like pay its creators,
Yeah.
and I just heard that this week, so I'm like, I need to educate myself
Man.
on that. And is that a space because sex workers are on Twitter and don't get banned?
Yeah.
okay.
And really
That's
post
very
anything there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's good to hear because that's good for me. I have a Twitter, an X account.
Yeah, just keep putting it in there because
I
yeah, Facebook Meta just bans you for everything.
It's only a matter of time.
I always ask one last question. I'm trying to build a startup Bible for other people looking to get started up in their business, and we're compiling a list of lessons that I've gleaned from the first few years of business ownership. And the answers are always interesting, but the question is, what has being a business owner like? If you could have one thing that you knew before being an entrepreneur, what would that thing have been? Like the hard way, like the hardest way possible.
Well, that out in the beginning and understand the numbers.
That's
Like
good.
I feel like the numbers say so much. And it was something with the gym that we there that we didn't do at the beginning because we didn't know. We didn't know about paying ourselves. We just used the business account because sole owners on it. And if we could have learned that from the beginning, I feel like we could have set ourselves
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be better prepared for when there were slow moments and then not have to hustle in those slow moments.
I know, scramble and
Yeah.
worry.
Hustle and worry. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
there's boundaries with everybody was friends. We gave so many freebies away for a long time. And
I think we all do that for a while, especially in the beginning.
Like all of us have done every single like I was talking to a client that I coach and he was talking about how he had let this client kind of walk over him and he wanted to reset. And I was like, sweetheart, just know every single business owner I've talked to has gone through this. And it really, if I were to tell you before you went through this experience, you still would have done it. You have to go through that in order to learn that lesson and for it to happen to you.
yeah, and you have to learn it and have to learn that your time is important and you're
Yep.
giving
Yep.
people your time and you're not doing
That's all you
yourself
have.
this by giving yourself time. And in that hustle culture, you're going to get burnt out if you continue to give everybody your time with nothing in return. And getting that mentality out of not giving everything free to your friend because friends, like,
Yep.
your friends should be willing to,
To
pay
pay.
in order to
Yeah.
livelihood. That was
Yeah.
we knew that a long time ago.
Well, and that's what we're it's just there's not enough education and awareness around being a business owner, I feel like, and so that's why another reason why we're doing this because
I love that idea of the entrepreneurship Bible, like to learn the mistakes from others so that I do feel like you have to learn from your own mistakes. But if you can read that and learn others, and you maybe won't beat yourself up so much because you'll see, oh, this is part of the process.
yep,
Or hopefully, even if you are going through the boundaries issue, because I think that I feel like everyone really does have to go through a version of that. But if you're able to read about it and like how others navigated through it or how they dealt with it or how they turned that around quicker, because I think a lot of people then they're
stay
like,
stuck. Yeah.
yeah, oh my God, I'm stuck. I quoted too low. I have a terrible client now. And you don't have to stay there long. Once you identify it, know that you weren't alone in that problem, in that mistake, and move on.
Yes, and it takes some work to be able to ask for it, to have the confidence to actually ask for it and not be a yes person.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think when you start in business, you're like, I just need to build my clientele, and that means being nice, overly, and then you're too nice. And then when you set boundaries, they're like, wait, I gotta pay now, and they like get offended.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boundary, if it was set from the beginning, it could have uncomplicated so many things.
Oh, yeah. It that's a big part of so many things is the boundaries issue, and we've all got them.
Yeah, I think it's human nature. You want to help your friends when you can help your friends, family. But
Yeah.
Come up every episode, right? Every episode we've filmed so far, boundaries has been like at least a topic that has come up. So it's
Yeah.
definitely pretty important.
oh,
It
it's
really is.
and I think being able to set the boundaries in a productive way, not in a come at you mean way, also has a lot.
Yeah.
Wait,
I agree.
you were talking about wording, your things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always easier to have it before shit hits the fan too. Like you have to do it in a moment of crisis. You're probably not going to deliver well.
Exactly. Yes, if you're stressed and you're overstimulated and you're like, they haven't paid me, they're gonna be like, "Give me money." Not that so
Tell us how we can reach you. Do you have a website yet, or is it just your Instagram? Do you have a Facebook? Do you obviously have an X too? Tell us how
yes.
everybody can reach you.
The best way to reach me is my Instagram. It's
Okay.
at Be Intimately You, and my email is on there as well. And from there, there's a link to schedule a one-on-one call with me, like a free starting call. Let's talk and give me what you're going through, and I'll let you know if I can help you. And yeah, it's a fun call.
Excellent. Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
to
no, I'm like,
for the calls.
same. And I definitely, I want to have a call. So I'll schedule one too.
Let's do it. Do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I love what y'all are doing. And Claire, I'm so proud of you.
I am so proud of you too. Literally, like you're going to do amazing things. You already are.
Yeah. And so are y'all. I think putting this podcast out there to reach, entrepreneurs who are beginning things, and especially women is
Yeah. But I
Yes.
just,
Not like
and then,
had all women on so far, and it hasn't been on so good.
yeah, it really hasn't. But
well, it's
how
okay.
it's
Like
like you,
women coming together and having the confidence to be an entrepreneur and hold ourselves at a higher standard and to know that we can do this thing.
yep. Because we really can do anything that we want once we put our mind to it. But
And especially when we can come together, like women can come together, we can do great things, collaborate,
yep.
all that.
Yep.
Collaboration over competition.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Collaboration over competition. Yep.
That's another barrier for women to get over. Is the competition.
Yes, it really is. It really is. I think so many people struggle with that. I know I did at the very beginning when I quit my day job and I went full time for my own thing. I struggled with that at the beginning. I really did. But now you look back and you're like, it's really not how you think it is. It's really just we all work together. There's enough work to go out there.
Yeah, I think we've all just met a mean girl in our life and it scars us.
Yep. Yep. Gotta get past the trauma. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really enjoyed it and we'd love to have you back. And I would love to actually have you and Andrew on together as gym owners too. And what you see with business with the business owners there too.
I mean, it's 12 years. It's been a ride.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us today, and
Thank
we
you.
look forward to all the things that you have to offer, and we look forward to that call.
And I am so excited for y'all. Yeah,
We are so
all
excited
the
for you.
your episode. Oh, thank
Think about all the things we just talked about, how just awareness needs to be brought, and you're about to bring it. So,
you. I just have to stay in the space and being vulnerable.
yes,
Hey, celebrate. Let us know and we'll post it.
Yes.
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 Let us know all your wins.
Oh, yes. Y'all too. Y'all go celebrate tonight.
All right, we will.
Okay. Bye.
All right, bye, y'all.